Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and we love releasing content for y'all. But one thing we want to put out there, just kind of as a disclaimer or a pastoral recommendation, if you will, is that while we're going through these movies, we certainly have a set list, and not every one of them is our favorite. It is also true that not every one of them we necessarily recommend. So some of them are going to be a little bit more for mature audiences, and a lot of the subject matter and material is going to be for mature audiences. And so we just ask you guys, just listener discretion advised. Me, Marty, and Ryan, we're always going to keep the podcast itself clean. It's going to be clean content, but some of the subject material might be more appropriate for mature audiences. So just keep that in mind. As I said, this is not a recommendation on the films. This is us just walking through each of these movies and trying to put out good content. We love the opportunity for you guys to watch these movies along with us, but by no means are you expected to, and are we wholeheartedly approving of them. So just like I said, listener discretion advised.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Three Dudes in a Movie, the podcast. My name is Marty.
Keep my wife's name out of your mouth.
And that was Jacob.
No, it's Will Smith.
Sorry, today we're going to call him Will Smith.
No, please
I'm not calling you that.
Please don't call me that. William Smith. Hey, how we doing?
Of course, we're joined by Mike Ryan. Ryan, how are you today?
Ryan, you have to come up with your own cool
Yeah,
intro.
that's right.
Moon Knight came out
I'm
today.
going to.
Moon Knight dropped today. So
Did you watch it?
this morning? Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet.
No, Ryan, that's
Moonlight- that's a couple years old
pretty
now.
Old, but way to stay with.
Did you
your
watch
times.
Moonlight?
No.
Me neither. Okay.
Yeah, no.
How was episode 1? No spoilers.
Wait,
but
wait. Did you say Moon Knight or Moon?
I asked you about Moonlight.
Light with an L, and then you just turned to Ryan and said, "Have you seen episode 1 of Moon Knight?"
Stop.
with a K?"
We're doing this. Okay, Ryan, how was
I
episode
just
1?
want to say I was confused.
I need to see episode 2 to have an opinion on episode 1.
I have
What?
a feeling it's going to be like, I think it's going to be the whole show for that.
What does
man.
that mean?
I've heard that.
I mean, it's kind of like it happened with
That's what IGN
I
said.
heard it too. He's right here. I don't understand.
it happened with Infinity War too. It was like I need to see Endgame before I can really make my opinion on Infinity War.
Well, you can at least forecast.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
But it was just
The weather's been forecasted.
Yeah,
it was
pretty
slower
sad.
than I had
Pretty
hoped it
scary.
would be, and they didn't explain as much as I thought they could have.
Man,
Schizophrenic
well,
Oscar Isaac wasn't
Ryan,
too clear cut.
before you start hating on Moon Knight, remember, you
I
have to
didn't
wait till
say I hated.
episode 2. I'm just saying, be patient. Hey, we're having a good time here.
And we're so glad you guys are here for us today.
Yes.
We had the honor and privilege of watching One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest this
But
week.
then we also watched a movie. Or were you talking about the Oscars? Oh, I
So the
see.
honor and
We
privilege of
watched-
watching that.
Yeah.
So we'll get into the movie for a bit. But
Yeah.
until then, Jacob, it sounds like you have something on your mind.
I do. Actually, on my face, it's Will Smith's hand. That's right. We're talking
It's
about...
actually Chris Rock!
What a reversal. We're talking about the slap heard around the world. Actually, we'll probably title that. That's what the title will be, but we'll call it the slap.
Oh, we're going to call this episode The Slap Heard Around the World and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Folks, that's how we do it. We created air quotes programming. Thanks, Marty.
A
We can put that in the
paragraph long
description.
title.
I mean, we did that with the Batman and Goodfellas. Why can't we do the slap heard around the world and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
The Batman Goodfellas are
You know how many clicks that's
a
gonna get?
little shorter.
You know how many people think about this, Ryan? Think with me for a second. The Google machine, how successful it is. Think how many people Google slap and Cuckoo's Nest. Now, how many people Google slap the Cuckoo's Nest? We're gonna get so many clicks. Ryan, I can't hear your disapproval.
That's what this is about.
What? Sorry. What was the question? Yeah.
I
we
said
talked
what was
about
on your
the
mind.
slap halfway across America, sort
Around
of,
Hollywood,
sort
for
of.
sure.
Yeah. What do we? Yeah, the slap heard around Hollywood, more like. And then we were just kind of like, oh, they put this on TV. Well, we got to talk about it. I mean, we're a movie podcast, Ryan. We have to talk about it.
And these are movie
Don't
people.
look at these are movie people who make movies at a movie award show, and they did a very movie thing.
We don't got to get too opinionated or crazy about it, but we should chat
can.
about
Oh,
it.
you want to? Thank you, audience. So here's my thoughts. What did you? First of all, we come into the Oscars. Let me ask you guys this: how much do you keep up with the Academy Awards, historically speaking?
Not at all.
Not at all.
I check who wins. I'm not even going to say I'd watch
Yeah.
the movies that
Have
win,
you
though.
guys ever been in the know?
I mean, define in the know.
Like, did you between checking up and knowing the winners, or watching some of the winners, or at least some of the nominees, and then actually sitting down and having watch parties of the award show, somewhere in between that spectrum?
I have wanted to, but no, never.
Yeah.
I usually just check and see who won.
Okay. Do you typically have you already seen some of the winners typically?
At least one or two.
Okay.
At least of the major ones.
Yeah.
At least probably a best actor, actress, or best picture.
Right. So these is historically low TV ratings. They were, projected,
And they're going to keep going down.
They appear to be decreasing pretty rapidly. I used to be pretty sold on it. I think when whatever night it was, I don't even remember, but I think was I talking to you, Marty? I was like, oh, the Oscars are tonight. I remember when that was a thing. Like, it was on my calendar.
Yeah, it used to be a big deal.
Yeah, we used to have, like, I used to in college we'd have watch parties, and I'd seen, Best Picture at least 4 of the 5 or 6. I would intentionally go out of my way to go watch these movies, but now it's like it doesn't feel the same, Like, it feels like these movies are pretty I don't know. I mean, so are you looking up some of the nominees right now?
I'm just looking up some of the winners.
The only one that I'm aware of is King Richard, and I knew about that movie obviously because of the hot take from Will Smith, but also like I knew about it beforehand. That was the one movie that I did know because I kind of keep up with the Williams sisters, but yeah. So we're talking about the Oscars and how much we don't care about them. And then all of a sudden, bam, the Oscars are at the forefront of America's mind again because we know what happened.
And why is that?
Why is that? Marty, describe to me. I love anything that happens like this. Or, I mean, I hate that it happens, but I love the discussion that happens forward. Tell me what happened, because I think you could ask 10 different Americans. They'll give you 10 different
10
answers.
different answers.
Tell me what happened.
Chris Rock told a joke.
Okay.
About one Jada Pinkett Smith, and it was a G.I. Jane joke, which apparently is a very defendable kind of joke that you can make regarding Jada Pinkett Smith's alopecia. Is that how you pronounce it? Mm-hmm. She's having some hair issues, and I imagine that's not too fun. Probably pretty self-conscious about it. And so he said, can't wait seeing G.I. Jane 2, which I don't know if I've ever met anyone who watched G.I. Jane 1.
That's what makes it so funny.
That is what makes it funny, is that everyone's like, is that a G.I. Jane reference? Who is Chris Rock?
Yeah.
And Will Smith, camera pans to him, and he's cracking up. And somewhere in the next 5 seconds, Jada gives him a look. And Will Smith, next thing you know, Will Smith is on the stage, walking towards Chris. Chris says, uh-oh.
At this point, what do you think everybody in the room is thinking?
Why is Will Smith on the stage right now?
I'm thinking this is a bit.
Yes, it's
Maybe?
a bit.
Yeah.
Absolutely got to be the first thing that comes to mind.
Right.
And even after the slap, so
Yeah.
Will smacks Chris.
Yep.
Straight up, darn near punches him.
Good Hollywood slap.
That's right. He does the full
twist
of the hips and everything. It's like,
through.
oh, that man and
He's done that
his
on
training.
After
He's
Earth.
done that.
I Am Legend.
After Earth, my least favorite movie of all time.
Oh, wow. Watch out.
You
Will
heard it here
Smith's in the
first.
chat.
And even after the slap, everyone's like, oh, this is some bit.
Yeah.
But then Will Smith goes and sits down and says some, gives Chris an explicit warning. Stop talking about my wife.
Yeah, please.
To put it lightly.
Yes. Please, if you would refrain from speaking my wife's name.
That's right.
That's what he said.
With your mouth.
With your mouth in particular.
Chris Rock.
Please stop. Please,
Chris
I'm
Rock,
begging
do
you.
not continue.
Christopher, please cease.
Christopher
Audibly.
Dwayne the
audibly,
Rock.
Oh, that would have been different.
That's his full name.
That would have been different if it was The Rock.
Which, what are the odds The Rock didn't host this one? Because I feel like The Rock should host the rest of them for all time.
Now that's how they bring the Academies back.
Yeah. Everyone loves The Rock.
I still think they bring The Rock and he gives Chris Rock's jokes. And I want to see Will Smith go up there and
yeah,
punch.
Slap. He can't even reach him.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. A lot of people are chatting about whether or not they've lost some respect for Will Smith, about whether or not it was justified in defending his wife, especially regarding their marital issues, which I'm not even going to try to tackle. Just saying that they exist.
Yeah.
And they have to be put in the equation. It's one of those things. Should we even be talking about it? Well, we're going to, because we have the right to and we want to, but
yeah, I think it shines an interesting light on the complexion of Hollywood, of what is typically, I mean, this isn't anything like Hollywood's typically a little bit more liberal than the average American town. And so there's kind of a mixed reaction between, Like, whose side are you on? I think everybody was basically maybe kind of on the side of like Chris Rock in terms of, well, he shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have resorted to violence. And range from that to, well, what he did is toxic masculinity. He's like standing up for his woman, that sort of thing. I don't know. I think that's like a difficult line to walk, but I think it's something that we could at least wrestle with.
Absolutely.
Because it shows a few things about what Americans think is important.
Yeah,
prioritize.
priority. And it gets twisted when you start to think about it. Because you're right. It's like, is this toxic masculinity because this man stood up for his wife who didn't need defending?
Yeah, right.
Is this right because he resorted to violence?
Right.
One thing I'm not hearing very much is the try not to offend anybody. I'm not hearing much talk about what Chris Rock said, honestly.
That
a little surprised there.
I was going to ask you, because you are our comedian in the room.
Thanks.
You love comedy. You appreciate a really, really good joke.
I do.
And I perceive out of you, Marty, that when things like this, or when not things like this brings to the forefront an aspect of the Academy Awards or any awards show on primetime television, that is.
Sure, the Grammys are this week too.
Whoever's hosting, it's typically some sort of personality that's more of a comedian, and they have some pretty racy jokes.
Yeah,
they don't always land.
Get the blood pumping.
Yeah, but they typically take shots.
Ricky Gervais, a couple years ago.
Yeah, let's have him on there. See what he says. So what? What was your take on that? On the joke? Was it out of line? What's cool? What's not cool? Coming from your perspective.
So, the Christ follower aspect of me, which of course is the predominant aspect of me, I try to be against those kind of jokes, just because they're making fun of something someone cannot control.
Yeah.
Jada Pinkett Smith is probably quite insecure about her alopecia.
Right.
Understandable. Low-hanging fruit. Chris Rock is better than that. But I will also say, not only is Chris Rock better than that, it was not a good joke.
Yeah.
A G.I. Jane joke. And he even defends himself. Will Smith is yelling from the crowd, "Stop talking about my wife." And he's like, "Dude, it was the G.I. Jane joke."
Yeah.
And I wish he heard himself say that.
Well, he did say, he was like, come on. It's funny. He's like, or whatever he said, that he was like.
It really wasn't. And it wasn't funny because it was mean. It wasn't funny because it wasn't a good joke.
Yeah.
No one's ever seen G.I. Jane.
Yeah. Well, I think.
You get why he said it. You get why he said it.
100%. But I do think that sometimes when anything like that, when a joke doesn't land well or it's deemed out of bounds, I do think that there is a certain, vocal minority of people, typically within the comedy community
sphere
of influence, that come from that corner of our society, that speak up pretty loudly about protecting free speech, that sort of thing. That comedy is in a lot of ways the last bastion of free speech in America.
And so I respect Chris Rock's right to be able to tell that joke.
Okay.
There's just a better joke in there somewhere. Strictly comedy standpoint.
Yeah, but what's that line for you in terms of, like, if you know you're going to get a reaction like that out of Will Smith, is that okay?
Are you asking me if you think Chris? I'm not. Chris
it's provocative.
him.
It is provocative.
It gets the people going.
Yes.
What's the line? I don't think Chris Rock crossed a line that justified that.
Yeah.
To put it simply, obviously the joke was in poor taste, but it was appropriate.
Yeah,
it was you could say it was mean, but the whole room laughed. The whole room laughed way more than that dumb joke deserved.
Well, that's true. They were given the benefit of the doubt.
Can you tell I didn't care for the joke? Not because it was G.I. Jane. Chris Rock, you're a legend in this business.
But can I propose something for a second? I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious.
Just a little stitious.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a little theorist. So interesting part of the morning. Interesting part of the evening. He goes back up there to accept his Academy Award.
Who does?
William Smith.
That's right. He won Best Actor for King Richard,
which is one of the largest awards.
It's one of the big three.
Yep. I propose a theory. I think there's a pretty good chance he knows he's going up there to accept an award that night.
Let me see who his competition was real quick. I have it pulled up here.
Well, I just like.
So there's Andrew Garfield from Tick Tick Boom,
Oh wow. Yeah.
Cumberbatch from Power of the Dog,
Okay.
Javier Bardem from Being the Ricardos, and Denzel Washington from The Tragedy of Macbeth. So as much as that is a stacked cast,
I've not heard of any of those movies.
you haven't heard of Tick Tick Boom or Power of the Dog?
No.
I've at least seen the ads for those.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of good things about
All
both
right.
of them.
I'm ignorant.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure Power of the Dog was nominated for the most awards. I have not heard of the others.
Sorry, I feel like I should be in.
But you look at this and you're exactly right. Will Smith was going to win that.
Yeah. So okay, if he knows that, he has to know that.
This is, I mean, it's not always this clear cut, but this is pretty.
At one
pretty
point
clear-cut.
in the night, he knows he's going to have his moment.
He wanted another one, I
He
guess.
wanted another one, or one that was bigger. Like nobody cares who won that night. All of a sudden, it's
Because no one cares anymore at all.
yeah. So what is
I mean,
it?
have you heard of Coda?
No.
The movie that won Best Picture? That's the big one.
Okay.
It won Best Picture. I have no idea what it's about.
Yeah. Well, I just like he knows he's going up there, right? Again, but he did it anyway.
Yep.
It's fishy.
It is. I mean,
It's fishy to me.
have you seen any news on Chris Rock's ticket sales?
No.
The man's going to do
skyrocketed?
A-okay on this tour.
Yeah, I
he's
think
on.
we're okay with it. He's okay with it. Hey man, but he took it like a champ. He did not.
He
touch
didn't
his
even
face.
drop his cards.
Yeah, he was like, "All right." He absorbed the blow and then said, "All right, seriously, we're gonna keep doing this."
And they moved
All
on
right,
from
let's
it, and no one forgot about it. But
Yep.
in that moment, they were able to move on.
go. Yeah,
Very professional.
yeah. I wonder how much. I don't know. It just felt a little bit like you have certain moments like this where what do we consider the high society, the upper class of American culture, and there are moments that occur like this where they kind of let these people that are gathered in this place to look high society, everything is the spotlight's on them, and then it's like they drop their mask for a second.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
that certain things like that, like just kind of captures, our attention and holds it there for a second, because then it's like, oh, Will Smith's human,
And then some.
yeah, like he kind of captures, like, oh, he is prone to giving into these emotions. But anywho, what are you looking up?
I was just curious if there was any repeat winners from this Oscars, any movies that won several awards. There's one that won 6 awards.
Coda?
Nope.
Oh,
Coda won Adapted Screenplay, Picture, and Supporting Actor.
got it.
Dune.
Oh yeah, okay.
Dune
cool.
got production design, sound, score, film editing, cinematography, and visual effects.
Dune's the one that I would say was really great. I'm just waiting for episode 2. Ryan, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Well, actually, we were talking about this.
Here's
Ryan,
the-
you haven't seen it, have you? Ryan, I can't.
Ryan said no.
Okay. Well, I will wait for episode 2 to come out before I. But it's really good.
It was
Episode was
very
really
good.
good.
It was enjoyable.
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of those movie that is a piece of art. You're watching, you're taking in the painting.
It's good. It's good. It's good. But anyway, so yeah, the slap heard around Hollywood. The greatest night on the greatest night on television. Is that what Chris Rock called it?
That's what the Oscars call themselves.
Also, we don't. I don't know. I haven't seen any repercussions as of today. But Will Smith might not be back.
They're talking about it.
Yeah.
They're talking about
Yeah,
his
I mean,
repercussions.
yeah,
So
like-
we'll stay tuned on that.
Like he might not be coming back, which is a real shame for everybody in the room because we know how much Will Smith's the life of the party there.
Boy, do we need him.
Do we-
Um,
if not him, then who? I don't know.
were there any Oscar categories that you were curious about who won what?
No,
Nothing.
I'm totally out of
Nothing.
it. And I don't know that. I think that's more of a personal thing. There's a personal battle going on in here. I think that's more me. Like I said, something about it. Yeah, something about just the Oscars just lost its mystique, and I'm not really.
Someone, and for the life of me, I won't be able to remember who said this, but I'll just say what they said. and it was a wonderful point, and it was the Oscars nowadays are these movies that people don't watch. They're movies that are made to win awards and were completely separated from the major blockbusters
Yeah.
and the movies that win awards. But if you look at the history of the Oscars, for the longest time, that list was interchangeable.
Right.
I mean, how many awards
They're
would something like
blockbusters.
Jurassic Park win?
Yeah.
Star Wars won every award
Yeah.
ever. I mean,
Uh-oh.
The Lord of the Rings won all the awards. I mean,
Ryan snapped out of his chair. That must mean he's about to say some Lord of the Rings facts.
you're going to talk about Lord of the Rings. Yeah, because
I'll say that's when it ran off
the.
the rails, you know? Like when they started giving Lord of the Rings all these Oscars for all the work they're doing, I thought, they're letting all these niche films in that don't, no one's read Lord of the Rings. Ryan hasn't read it in 15 years. Well, do we really need these things?
Do you think you have any thoughts or opinions on when, or more importantly, why this started happening?
I think a couple things. One, yeah, it became more of an agenda. It's like this is a platform by which we can push what it is that we value most, and I think that there's a kind of a disconnect between this is what people want to hear, this is what we think people want to see, and that's just not the case anymore. Like it's almost like they've kind of lost that touch with.
Spider-Man Homecoming, Far From Home kind of proved that one too.
Really, I've not seen it.
Or Far From Home or No Way Home?
No Way Home, sorry.
No Way Home,
That's
yeah.
what I meant to say.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen it.
No Way
Is
Home,
it-
but No Way Home did not receive a nomination.
No, but it was one of the biggest movies this year. Actually, and
Isn't it
of all
third all time?
time,
It's third
something
all
like
time, I
that,
believe.
yeah.
Why was it? Why do you feel like that? Are you saying? Oh, it didn't get nominated, and yet it's one of the best. Yeah. Well, I think so. I think that's part of it too. But also, it's kind of become an open secret the way that the whole process kind of works. Like between the marketing, there's quite a bit of heavy lobbying going on. Like you're just kind of courting these people to like. It's a lobbyist group at this point. Like, and so I think Americans have kind of seen that and like, oh, this is just it's a self-fulfilling agenda for people. And it just kind of, I don't know. It doesn't, it lacks like genuine quality. I wonder about this sometimes as I do, I compare this to baseball. Okay.
I'm here for it.
And as much as I hate the fan vote, because I'm like, dude, just, you know,
Because the fan vote
like
ruins the All-Star game.
But I do think it's a certain point. It's similar to saying like, well, so-and-so sabermetrics are off the charts, right? Statistically speaking, this is the best player on the field. But everybody knows, like, if you see this person and just watch them and then look at their basic stat line, they're not the best player on that team. And this person got left out of the All-Star game for this guy.
Yep.
Right. And so I think there's a little bit. I was thinking, we talk about these lower ratings and what is it that I was trying to think what would be the remedy for that. And I think that there's got to be a certain layer, like some sort of fan vote awards, something like that, where they have to be willing to say, hey, vote in on this. We're letting anybody have a voice, anybody have a say. And I think that's what's so difficult for them because they're not going to do that. They wouldn't do that. Again, because it goes back to that disconnect.
Absolutely. You're right. We see that in probably every sport All-Star game where fans get to vote. I mean, the NBA All-Star game has looked so incorrect for 5 straight years now.
Yeah.
Where it's just like these 3 guys got left out for, I mean, who was it this year? Booker didn't make it, but Andrew Wiggins was a starter.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, right.
All right. So I just real quick, I don't know how long we want to talk on the Oscars before we get to.
I don't care.
But I just wanted to throw this out here. Very interesting stat, just a fact. But I'm kind of looking at the last few Best Picture winners and kind of trying to see where there was a bit of a shift between a movie that everyone would have saw and a movie no one would have saw.
Right.
And I'm not saying that doesn't mean no one's seen any of these. I mean, I've heard of all these movies. I've heard wonderful things about all these. But I'm looking at 2014. And 2014 was 12 Years a Slave.
Uh-huh.
Did you watch that?
No.
I love 12 Years a Slave.
I'm sure, yeah,
a
it's
lot
great.
of people saw it.
Yeah,
True
yeah.
story.
Yep.
Heart-wrenching. Something everyone wanted to watch. a year later, something that deserved it. I didn't get to see it. I don't know many people that did, but I've heard it's deserved it. It's Birdman.
Oh man, love Birdman.
Yeah, and
It's
I
weird.
need to see
It's
it.
a weird movie.
But it deserved
It's different. Yeah.
it. But then we go Spotlight, Moonlight, Shape of Water, Green Book, Parasite.
Did you like? Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Spotlight. Have you seen Spotlight?
Yeah, Spotlight's the only one of those
I
I've
love
seen.
Spotlight.
I enjoy Spotlight quite a bit.
Yeah.
My buddy Zach was
Yeah.
a part of the early process
That's
for
right. That's right.
reading the script.
And then
Really
Moonlight was
cool
after that.
opportunity. Moonlight, Shape of Water, Green Book, Parasite.
Did you watch Shape of Water?
No, Spotlight is the only one of these I've seen since 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah. So Shape of Water is not. I have my feelings about Shape of Water. Definitely, if I have any sort of feelings towards it, I'm like, that's definitely not Best Picture. So it's a bummer that it won. I was pretty upset about that. Green Book was fine. It's Driving Miss Daisy. It's what it is. Just kind of swapped. And then Parasite. Parasite's really good.
I haven't
it's
seen
on the
it.
list.
Yes, it
We're
is.
watching
So
the list.
we'll watch
It's
it.
One of my favorite foreign films.
I just
It's
thought
good.
it was fascinating to see this break. I mean, before 12 Years a Slave was Argo,
Yeah.
which I never saw, but I mean,
Yeah.
it was a big one. King's Speech, Hurt Locker,
King's Speech.
2008, No Country for Old Men,
Yeah. No Country for Old
masterpiece. I
Men.
mean,
Is that one on the list?
yes.
Okay. Good.
Um,
Good. Coen Brothers.
Crash is on here. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
Dumb.
Beautiful
Not
Mind.
worth it.
Funny. Beautiful Mind, Gladiator.
Yeah.
These are just some of the. So I mean, we can go back. We can go for years on this. We talk for forever. I just thought
But in the last 7 years, it's been
really
kind of a
feels like the last
change.
7 years.
Yeah, maybe.
It's always been an art form, obviously, but now it's attempting to be niche.
Well, and COVID's kind of had an effect on that, I think, because COVID was a time, regardless of like in any sort of medium, where it went back to independent filmmakers, independent game studios, independent like music labels, like these like
Sure. The big projects didn't come out
yeah,
for 2
for
years.
better or for worse, the fact that we had to have smaller projects really helped give stage presence, to give a little bit of the stage to or real estate to these indie projects that otherwise we probably wouldn't have heard in the biggest blockbuster summer kind of thing.
La La Land should have won in 2017.
Oh my gosh. So good. Dun, 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 dun. And then also I wonder how much of it is maybe I want to say the death or the decline of like movie theater. Like
It's heartbreaking, honestly. I mean, it's
is
a dying
it though?
art.
I mean,
I think so.
yeah,
I think so. I mean, I had to watch.
I'm okay with it.
What a hilarious statement! But I had to watch the new Matrix at home on HBO Max. I wanted to see that in the theater. I mean, it was trash.
Yeah, you
It
really
was-
want to see that CGI?
Yeah, I did though. I did though. I was like, I don't know.
I-
We had to watch the new Halloween last year
I
at home on
liked it at
Peacock.
home.
I wanted to
like-
watch it in the theater so
no,
bad.
No. In the, I think I go back and forth.
Although I
on
did
it.
enjoy our commentary on it.
Yes,
but-
that's what I'm saying. You get to laugh, hang out, and root for Michael Myers. There's certain ones. There are times where I'm like, yes, Avengers Endgame, and Infinity War. That is go to the movies with you, your friends, your neighborhood. You're all in there together, cheering them on, right? Like that to me is a movie theater experience. Okay, when I'm watching Get Out for the third time, admittedly, when I'm watching Get Out and there is a whole conversation, a whole argument happening between high schoolers on the front row, and then we have to have a lady behind me yell at him and say, "Hey, you're in a movie." That's when I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to take this home. Like I'm not.
I wonder if there's ever been spells where theater talking has been a problem. But in the last 5 years,
It's cell phones.
it's been so bad. It's got to be cell phones,
It's
right?
cell phones. Like that's the thing to me. It's like get off your phone. I hated that. But I don't want to be a curmudgeon. But
What a good word.
yeah, well, that's how I feel sometimes when I talk about movie theaters. But there are certain ones I'm like, if it was once a year, I'd be okay. And the rest of them I watch at home, that's all right by me. I
got to go more than that.
I just don't. I don't care. I'm not into it. Ryan, what do you as a audiophile, as someone who you love the technical side of things, you want to see big screen glory, 40 millimeter, do the thing, Dunkirk. Thank you, Chris Nolan.
except I haven't seen that one.
Well,
I need to.
Yeah, but you want to.
I mean, I want to build a room in a house with a Dolby Atmos system,
Right.
and then a massive screen. That's also a mixing room, though. I want it to be dual purpose.
But you have to settle for a $20 movie ticket and then a $35 Coke and then baby crying behind you. And then 45 minutes of previews. And then I got to go use the bathroom, which is 75 minutes away. And next thing you know, it's like credits roll. And
skip the Coke and go on like a Thursday, Friday night.
Oh. Wait, what? Go on a Friday night?
Maybe not Friday, but actually Tuesday nights have been pretty...
A $5 Tuesdays?
When I've gone, well, not that necessarily, but just Tuesday nights typically don't have a lot. It's actually, the thing to do is to go to the theater that doesn't have the discount on Tuesday because there's less people there.
Yeah, if you're willing to pay for it.
So
I'd do that. I'd pay a little bit extra to make sure I had it exclusively.
I just use that monthly pass thing where I just click the...
Actually, this is funny. The one time I recognized the power of the movie theater was when I saw Blade Runner 2049 or opening, and 12 people saw it, and it was me. 12 people in America saw it.
Yeah, no one watched it,
and it was me.
But,
it was just me at like 10:45 on a Saturday night with the entire. What was what at the rave is like the IMAX. It's not IMAX, but it's like the next thing up from it. Anyway, it's like the central auditorium the center auditorium they have, and it's like, don't you want to watch Blade Runner 2049? And I'm the only one like, yeah,
yes,
like,
I sure do.
Yeah, it's awesome. Anyway,
hey, we haven't gushed over that movie since our first episode.
Oh man, such a good movie.
It is.
Watch it sometime. Ryan, you watched 2049 first. You psychopath.
No.
Okay.
That was Bassett.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
I'm halfway through the first one.
Shall remain unnamed.
Forgot to finish it.
You're halfway through the first one? That's okay.
Yeah, I forgot.
It's good. It's good.
I respect that. It's a movie. It's a great. Both of them are great movies. I totally understand if somebody goes halfway through it, oh, I gotta get my laundry,
and then you're just done for the day.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
I wouldn't blame you for that.
I forgot to finish Blade Runner.
Yeah.
I did the same thing with Braveheart.
Oh,
I ran out of time with Braveheart, and then it disappeared from streaming platforms.
He also ran out of time.
Hashtag William Wallace.
Yeah.
So speaking of Oscars, we have on this lovely occasion
Will Smith,
a movie
did
to
not
discuss.
he wanted to get associated with Oscar from
the Shark Tale movie.
Shark Tale, yeah.
Yeah, wasn't that was this his name?
That's his name. Yeah,
that's so funny.
It was a meme. I can't take
that's
credit
so
for that.
funny.
That's the reason why he did it.
So, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Let's
talk about it, because here's a good transition for you. It won the Big Five Oscars. Clean sweep of the Big Five. Yeah, just a little passion project.
Yeah.
But it won Best Picture. Nicholson won Best Actor. Louise Fletcher won Best Actress. Foreman won Best Director. And they won Best Writing / Screenplay adapted from other material. And it was nominated for 4 more as well. So 9 nominations, 5 wins.
Hey man, good for them.
The movie was a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Jack Nicholson guy really had.
Looked into him. I mean,
he's pretty.
He's
special.
up and coming.
He's something special.
He's up and coming. Did I see him at a Lakers game? Probably not.
I did say yesterday. I just can't get behind looking at him with he's not in that Lakers yellow.
And then he went complete Phil Jackson and coached Chief to an NBA title.
That's right.
Yep. That's where he ran to Los Angeles. So let's see. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Criminal pleads insanity as admitted to a mental institution where he rebels against the oppressive nurse and rallies up the scared patients. And that's what happened.
That is quite literally what happens.
That is our movie. Yeah. How do we feel about it, gang?
I was a large fan of this movie. I enjoyed it a ton. I thought it got me thinking a lot. I really appreciated it. I mean, I went to bed last night and I just spent all night reading about differences between the book and the movie.
Oh, really?
I think I'd like to read the book. We can talk about some of those if we want.
Yeah.
But I just very much enjoyed it. I see why it won all of these. It has that prequel show that I've mentioned to you, Ratcheted, about Nurse Ratched.
Yeah, right.
And so, I mean, I might even want to watch that. There's only 8 episodes. It was just a movie. It gripped me in the right kind of way. Is deep enough that you can think about it. It had some really funny moments that I appreciated, and I really liked every character. Every actor did such a good job. You know, I could just spend time gushing about this movie. It's why it won 5 Oscars, though. It doesn't need me to do that. But to put it simply,
Yeah, but the Oscars suck. So
they did
it
not
does
suck
need
in
to-
1976.
We don't
though.
know that yet.
Well, they
We're
probably
still
did.
coming back.
But they're on the up and up.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and it's one I'll watch again down the road. This is one I want in my. I like to collect Blu-rays, but only like to collect movies that I really enjoy.
Like what?
I have two variations of Jaws.
Yep.
Halloween.
One's from the point
Lost
of view of the
Boys.
shark.
That's right. That's the 4K one.
It's
of
actually
course.
just called Swage.
just Jaws spelled backwards.
Oh, is that what that is?
I love Swag.
I'm more of a Swage kind
It's
of
my
guy.
favorite shark Karas movie. Shark spelled backwards.
Academy Award.
So this is one I'll get on Blu-ray. I'd like to own a fancy schmancy collector's edition of this kind of movie.
Yeah.
That's what gets the people going right there.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Don't yawn into the microphone.
Sorry, you're waxing eloquent. So, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Tagline is, if he's crazy, what does that make you? Ryan, I feel like I'm going to defer to you on that because you had that question or you had that prediction in the middle of the movie. What did you say? What did you say?
Do you recall?
No. Sorry, I was just looking at my phone.
You were prepared for the movie to end and to not know whether or not he actually was crazy because it did a really good job of dancing
that's what
around
Ryan
we
that.
said.
couldn't tell if he was actually crazy or not.
Well, if he's
and then
crazy,
you
what does that
still
make
don't
you?
know the way it ended.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do we?
but they made him crazy.
Well,
They
they didn't make him
lobotomized him.
crazy.
They lobotomized
They made him a zombie.
What did you think of the movie, Ryan?
I liked it. I don't know that I would watch it again necessarily. I mean, I would watch it if other people were watching it. But if I got to pick, I'd probably watch something else.
Sure.
I both liked and didn't like the ending.
That's exactly it, though, isn't it? Like, you can appreciate it, but it's also like...
It's the
I
ending you don't expect.
I wanted a happier ending.
Yeah.
It is a happy ending. Chief gets loose.
Chief's the only one who does.
It was a cathartic moment. Christopher Lloyd could have ran out. He was like, yeah!
And he would have said, Eureka!
Yeah. Fun IMDb trivia that's not altogether helpful. Many extras were authentic mental patients, to which I reply, aren't we all, brother?
That's right. That's why that tagline is what it is.
Yes. What's another one?
It did have some pretty famous people in it.
Yeah. I mean, Christopher Lloyd.
Luis Fletcher, Danny DeVito, Jack Nicholson.
Danny DeVito is in this
as
movie.
Martini.
And all he does is go, yes.
Yes.
I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah. I liked it. It was good. It's quirky. Some things. I mean, it's Jack Nicholson being Jack Nicholson. This is what he's known for. It's kind of similar. A lot of it's like The Shining or. People talk about Jack Nicholson as the Joker. Is he the best Joker? I'm like, it's just Jack Nicholson.
They just put white face paint on. He's just
One Flew Over the Batman's Nest.
Yeah, he's a great Joker, but that's because he's a great actor.
Yeah.
Do you think this was his big break, or was there anything before this? I'm genuinely asking.
That's a great question. I doubt it because he's like 40 in this movie.
Well, the character said like 37.
Well, I mean,
but I
he's
don't know
40.
if he
sorry.
was.
Yeah, he was 40.
Okay, he's definitely older. Than
I think
thought
his
he was.
break is for. I think he got his break in The Bucket List with Morgan Freeman.
He's still he is still alive. He's 85 years old.
Andy Griffith Show, Psych Out, Head, Easy Rider, The Rebel Rousers. That's a great question. Chinatown. Chinatown would have been.
I never saw Chinatown, but I know it's
before.
older.
Yeah, it's a year before. So, he had quite a few.
Very cool. I've always been a fan of his. He was one that growing up, my parents showed me like The Shining or Batman. And they were like, that guy is an absolute all-star. And they pointed at him. And I was like, I get it. That makes sense. I can see that.
Yeah. I mean, Grand Theft Auto made a video game character basically out of him. So
you're right. It looks like him.
That is him. So anyway. Yeah, I kind of what I talked about before. I was like, man, I really love all of these characters. Like you kind of have this deep stable of just, I love everybody's quirks, like all the things that they do differently and how weird they can be. And the ways that I think there are parts of it that we think like he can't be crazy because he's aware of all of it. Like he's just kind of taking it all in. He goes, this person's crazy. This person's crazy. Why is this person flying off the handle about this? What is the nurse going to do about it?
Yeah, what he
And
literally
then
just
he's just
asking
like,
everyone, "Why are you doing
Yeah,
this?
why are
Like,
you the way that
stop,
you
sit
are?"
down, sit down.
I said multiple
sit
times,
down.
I would be so angry if I was in his shoes just to be there. Not that I'm like,
Yeah, you almost think he should be more angry more often.
yeah, like not like that I think I'm going insane. I'm just like, dude, I'm just so agitated that I'm here. Like, why do I have to sit here and watch this person?
I'm tired.
That's me. I'm tired. Yeah. So he gets put into this mental institution. He is actually he's been in prison. I don't know how long he's been in prison. Pretty close for a while because he's wrapping up his jail time. We halfway through the
True.
movie.
Yeah, halfway through the movie, he's like,
2
I've got
months
like
left.
50 days.
Yeah. And so for some pretty heinous crimes, we won't talk about it. Although that made me uncomfortable. That scene.
Oh yeah, that was the worst scene.
Yeah,
the most
just
uncomfortable
those
scene.
questions. But so he gets put in prison, and then he's brought here because they think he's crazy.
And they're just wanting to
And
run.
he's like,
They just want to know whether or not he
He's
is.
like, I'm just
That's the
vibing.
tests.
I mean, whatever. Aren't we all crazy? So and so in his attempt to just kind of shake things up a little bit in the institution, they don't appreciate that, believe it or not. He takes them fishing. They don't like that.
Steal a charter boat.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's interesting. What do you do? I have a question though. There's a point. This made me wonder. Personalities, right? With you guys, I have a definite answer to this. So the point where things, kind of fly off the handle, where everybody gets in a fight, like everybody's just brawling, right? And this is before the big party.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. The scene where he gets taken to electroshock therapy.
Right? Yeah.
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 Him and Chief.
Yeah. Right. Everybody's fighting about something. And it seems to be pretty close to chaos and all out brawl. What are you guys doing in that moment? Not in his shoes. You're standing there next to this thing happening. What are you doing?
Probably just staying back and watching.
Okay, you're taking it in.
That or you got enough right of mind, you might try to escape, but
Okay.
I don't even know if that's feasible.
Yeah.
You're
that's
probably just
possible.
trying to stay away from the brawl,
Okay.
not get tackled by the orderlies or get
Right.
or get stimulated by any drugs you don't
Yeah.
understand.
Ryan, what are you doing? Are you trying to de-escalate the situation? Or are you just
If I'm a patient, I'm taking off.
you're trying to escape?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I'd have been out that window.
All right. Yeah.
Well, you got an answer?
I think Freebird would start up in my head, and
And you start going full Kingsman.
I would totally. The whole idea of everyone kung fu fighting, that means me too. Like I'm fighting. I thought I was sitting there watching that scene, and part of it, like I love the scene, but also part of me is like, dude, put me in, coach. Like I want to fight. If everybody else is fighting, I want to fight. Like, what are you fighting about? I don't care.
It's your one excuse to fight.
Yes.
Get into a barroom brawl.
Yeah. Because I'm not a fighter. Like, I just don't really fight. But if everybody else is, heck, I'll give a swing.
It's something to do.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the worst they're going to do? Lobotomize me?
Yeah, right.
I think I might change my answer, sort of.
Okay.
Depends on why I'm
I'll
there.
allow it. Okay.
If I'm there not of my own free will, and I don't think I need to be there, I'd be split.
Okay, wait, all
But-
the time. If you volunteer yourself
Well,
in a mental institute.
There were some of them that did.
Most of them were voluntarily there.
No. They could volunteer. They could leave.
Yeah, they were there voluntarily.
Yeah. But
So-
that doesn't mean you like commit yourself to it. I don't think they committed themselves.
No, I'm not saying I would.
Okay.
Like you're saying in the fight scenario,
Or
what
let's
would you
say
do?
you're like
You would,
Harvey.
in that case,
Yeah.
then I would try and de-escalate it.
Really? You would risk yourself?
Maybe.
I think if I was there voluntarily, I probably would have just backed down and said, "Hey, y'all call me when it
Probably
calms
that,
down.
but-
I'm out my way out.
Don't hurt me.
I'm heading out for
I'm gonna go play hoops with the orderlies who
You
don't
guys
know how to
need-
shoot basketball.
Oh, Washington, he's already down. That sucks. You guys, what's the meme? I'm going out for. Y'all need anything? What is it?
I
That
don't
was
know.
So 2019.
I'm sorry,
I wish
yeah.
I could remember.
Too long ago.
Yeah. Hey, email us in if you remember that.
You remember that meme?
I'm going out for y'all need
Guys,
it. Gosh,
email us. No one's
Email us.
emailing us.
Well, I mean, no one emails. Nobody answers their email. I can tell you that. Or
We'll answer your email.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
We'll read your comment.
But if I was there, because here's what I'm thinking. If I'm there involuntarily, there are 3 things to do. Okay, there's fight, like join in on the fight, de-escalate the situation, try to stay out of it. Believe it or not, all three of those have a chance of you getting hurt.
Oh, absolutely.
So why not just go in?
That's fair, because obviously the nurses in this situation are looking to hurt people.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like, why not?
Nurse Ratched is not a nice woman.
Yeah. Now, if there's a definite way out of the situation, like I remember this, there was a food fight. Oh, I remember this so plain as day. Okay, so high school. Okay, high school.
Food fight in high school?
Yeah, I know. This is like it's a new thing they were trying. It was in 10th.
I was just going to say, we never did one.
Oh, really? Okay, so this was in 10th grade, I believe. And so I was walking into the cafeteria. There was a little bit of there was kind of a heat on the air, like it's like tense.
You could
What's
feel
going on?
You could cut the tension with a
Yes.
spoon.
And so there was this girl I was dating at the time. We walk in, and this, like, you feel it. There's some like kind of a nervous energy. What's happening? And I don't know if this is premeditated. It feels like it in hindsight. But I said, I turned to this girl I was dating. I said, "Hey, we should probably get out of here." And she was like, "What are you talking about?" And legitimately, 2 seconds later, a dinner roll lands at my feet. Like it just came out of nowhere. And I said, "Turn, run." And as soon as we turn, like we turn our shoulders, food's everywhere. It was unreal. Like this stampede, like we got out of the way. It was like out of a.
Did you actually get out of? You got out of there straight up?
Like I got out of there. We got out of there.
You guys were by the door.
Out of the way of the door. Doors open. Stampede. And she turned to me and she said, "How did you know that was going to happen?" I was like, I have no idea.
You called it. You said it first.
I just said, "We got to get out of here." Like so in those instances, I'm like, most of the time, I feel like I can read a room and go, "This is not okay to be in. I got to find my way out." If I can't because I'm not there voluntarily, I'm like, "Okay, well, gloves are off. Let's go. Let's fight." I don't know.
That's
anyway,
and that's kind of what happened.
I mean, a little bit about
just with
me
a little more drugs than food
that we know of.
That's true. That's true that we know of.
Yeah, we're not sure everybody was swallowing those pills. So anyway, that's what I think about that.
And that's your official review of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yes, that's it. It was good.
So here's a little. Let's talk about the book real quick. I know we're gonna run out of time here soon, and we gotta make a phone call.
Oh, crud. Do we have to call him?
We have to call him.
All right.
Oh
man.
So, what was that?
Maybe he won't answer.
He said he's ready. He gave you a yeehaw cowboy emoji. So
don't care.
In the book is through the lens of Chief.
Oh, okay.
So from the get-go, he's actually not deaf and dumb.
Oh, that's cool.
As well as it's the article I read did a good job of pointing out, like, think of how clever this is, because you're witnessing the story through the eyes of someone who hears everything because everyone thinks he hears nothing. So you hear information when it's pertinent to the story and not as it happens to the main character. And I was like, that really would be pretty clever.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So Chief tells us what we need to know when we need to know it.
Okay.
Instead of it being exposition.
Right, yeah.
I thought that was really clever.
That is cool.
And he died. Murphy dies the same way. Lobotomy, and Chief suffocates him. But one big thing in the book that I wanted to notice was it was a happier ending, despite the nurses being more intensive and evil in the book.
Okay.
It was a happier ending, because although Murphy gets lobotomized and Billy does take his life in the same way that he does because of what happened with Candy.
What happened with
Candy? To keep it PG here. But between Billy's death and Chief's escape, or maybe I should even say Murphy's death and Chief's escape, is a few weeks.
Oh, okay.
And during that time, a lot of the volunteer guys head home.
Oh, okay.
They
so
check themselves out.
A little bit of closure.
Yep.
I don't really. So something that I was anticipating but didn't actually happen. I did not feel like Nurse Ratched was as much of a villain as I anticipated.
No, truly not.
Yeah, I mean, like, she was.
She was in charge.
kind of
She
a
was
jerk.
controlling.
Yeah, for sure.
But oftentimes, I mean,
It's like, this.
are we supposed to feel like she's so evil because she didn't let Chiefs vote count for the
I
World
think,
Series?
I think
Like,
I was anticipating something a little more nefarious. Like,
yes.
I really think that she's doing something to manipulate these people in a way that is like taking advantage of them. And there was undertones of that for sure.
Yeah.
But it was more so like, no, I really don't want you guys watching baseball. That's
Yeah.
it.
Like,
It wasn't like-
changing the schedule.
It's
Like,
well, if I let you watch baseball, well, then I can no longer use you as my minions to do
yeah.
my bidding.
Yeah, honestly, that's what it felt like it was going to be.
Yeah, and it was just.
And you're right.
Like,
And
well.
it's an interesting, I'm sure it's trying to be a commentary on fighting the power.
Do you think this is a, go back to one of our movies we watched before, Harakiri. It's kind of a statement against the feudal system in Japan.
Yeah, I'm
Do you
sure.
think this is like against the mental institute?
So the author of the book worked as an orderly at a mental institution.
Ooh.
So a lot of the wrongs that he writes about in the book are things that he witnessed.
Okay.
And so Nurse
like
Ratched
this
is an
is-
exaggerated character from things that he saw. And so he did see manipulation tying down patients in this hospital that already are not, they have no ability to be on their own anymore. So that was something that was absolutely came through in the book, and I think in the movie too. But you bring up a good point where I thought I thought Nurse Ratched was going to be more nefarious.
Yeah.
Because some of the things we do see her do, whether it's you can't watch baseball or essentially leading Billy down a path of suicide because of her threats.
Right.
But she didn't want him to take his life. Where it felt like if it was nefarious...
That we know of.
True. But if it was nefarious, you felt like the undertones would have been that she was making him try to do that.
Yeah.
And I thought there was just a few things that probably should have tweaked to make it seem like that, where the book actually probably does already do those things.
Right. What an interesting concept. I feel like the whole idea of...
Her character trope, by the way, is called the Battle Axe Nurse.
What?
Just saying, that's what
Where
it's
did
called.
you get that? What's the character trope?
Well, some character varieties have names.
Of what? Is this her head? Are we going back to her head canon?
No. Like
I'm gonna look-
the Battle Axe Nurse, like a lot of these kind of characters are modeled after her.
A battle axe nurse is an incredibly sadistic and cruel nurse, often older and uglier than her more angelic counterpart, and always female. Okay.
Well, I suppose that
okay.
that other nurse with her was younger and a little cuter.
Who poses a real or mock threat. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, wow. Look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't just pull that out of nowhere. Like I did read that. I mean it. I did some reading last night after this movie.
Okay.
Because I really did enjoy it. So, we do need to be respectful of time. So let's. You got anything you need to say before we do any rankings?
I feel like I did, and then the battle axe nurse threw me off.
I'm so
I was going to
sorry.
say the mental state. What is this an American fascination with mental hospitals and I
Like
guess
serial killers and
why do we put all those people
psychological
together?
issues.
And then, well, not even that, like internal abuse of those patients.
Are you asking why we're so fascinated by it?
Yeah, because it's like a horror trope. Because that's not something that
It is a horror trope.
It's not
I mean, you've
really
seen The
like-
Departed
Yeah, like it's not
or Shutter Island.
Yeah, Shutter
No, I
Island.
meant
Shutter
Shutter
Island
Island.
made me. That's what made me The Departed.
Never seen
Get a
either. so-
lobotomy. Yeah, like Shutter Island's like this, but it's scarier, or I guess more suspenseful. Yeah, that's not like that's a form of emotional and psychological abuse. That's not really. I don't know that that's a like. What other subject material that's like that? That's like abusive. That it's okay to make a horror movie out of. Maybe like the Salem witch trials.
I mean,
know.
sure. I mean,
But you know what I mean.
cannibalism has some horror movies to it, and that's the kind of thing. It's like, why? And
Well, I would say it's abusive. I mean, like in terms of like society abusing, abusing somebody who is for whatever reason,
Okay.
like less well off.
I get you. You mean like
Orphanages.
You mean like Carrie?
Something like-
Carrie comes to mind.
maybe yeah,
If you ever saw Red Carrie,
yeah.
I get what you mean. It is
Like there's a stigma now placed on people who are in the midst of a abusive relationship,
Yeah.
for lack of a better. Because it is like I don't know.
it's I just think it's the human desire to tamper with the taboo,
Yeah,
and you're not supposed to
because that's what I was thinking the whole
take
time.
anything. There's not supposed to be anything good that comes out of a
Right,
mental
when they're-
institution.
Yeah, when they're like electroshocking him, I'm like, man, this is not okay. Like, there's that like righteous anger against
yes,
these people who
yeah,
are doing this.
mistreating someone who needs
But
help.
then also you're like, but some of these people have done some pretty bad things. So
And so it's that part of you that
is
says,
it okay?
in fiction, I really want to see this, and it's twisted. It is twisted. We're allowed to acknowledge
I
that.
want to see it.
Um,
It just makes me uncomfortable.
Well, absolutely. We all have
Yeah,
our
right,
limits.
right,
I know
right.
people who can never touch a movie like this,
Right.
and I know people who'd say, "Oh, it's too tame for me."
Uh,
I used to be one of those people. I used to be a
Yeah.
agoraphobe.
yeah,
Used to love that kind of stuff.
agoraphobe.
um,
No, it'd be
Agoraphile.
file.
Yeah, agoraphile.
Yeah,
Big.
That's some
I
Greek for
mean,
you.
I used to watch Final Destination just to
Ugh, I hate
just
that.
to watch Final Destination.
Dude,
Yeah,
I hate violence
gruesome
for
stuff.
violence sake. I can't.
I do.
stand-
I do
can't
now,
stand it.
but for the longest
think
time I was about it.
I think it's just a way of like trying to amp up a water thin plot. Like I'm like, this is.
Oh, it is.
not
Absolutely. That's
real.
what most horror
It's not
movies
very
are.
substantive.
That's what most bad horror movies are.
Oh, I was to say Halloween's a wonderful story.
I
love
love me some
Halloween.
Halloween. You kidding me?
We love Michael Myers. He's one of my favorite protagonists. So are we ready to get Keith? So we got to put our headphones on,
Yeah,
Right.
we'll call Keith because he's ready for us.
and then we'll get back to the
And
ratings.
then we'll
come
rank,
back
yep.
to the rankings.
Just one ear.
One. Yep.
Why?
So we can still hear
What's
each
gonna
other.
happen if we do? Wait, what?
Just don't ask. Just put it on. We're still recording. So
Wait. So
yeah,
so we
you
can
look
hear
great.
each
Look
other.
great.
Here we go.
All right, you take lead. He's your friend. Well, I mean, he's my friend too. But
Hello.
Chief Keith, Young Money Youngs. How the heck are you?
wow, Keith,
You're on the
you're
Three
here.
Dudes in a Movie podcast.
I feel welcomed. How are you guys?
Still looking for that number, but
We're-
third time's a charm, I
We're
guess, as they say.
so glad to finally get you on here.
Hey, man. I'm a busy guy, but I'm glad our schedules could align. Just doing some chest day, but you guys are more important.
Some what?
Some chest day.
It's chest day.
Is that like a gourmet? Is that? Oh, you're working out. Got it. I forgot. Sorry. Hey, what time is it over there in Rocky Top?
7:18.
Very cool.
7:18 Mountain Standard.
Yeah. On
Oh,
this
we love
day,
Mountain Time.
March 30th, the day of our Lord.
day of our Lord.
2022.
Our brother in Christ, yeah.
Well, let me tell you, Keith, we have just reviewed One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. You ever watched it?
Maybe 10 years ago.
All right. Are you,
That sounds like a good movie for a 14-year-old.
you think he's 24? Hey, what do you?
That was very witty, Marty. Good job.
Thanks, Keith.
What do you remember? Do you remember Danny DeVito in that movie?
Nope.
All right, very cool.
Rewatch it just for Danny DeVito.
You may have called the wrong person. I'm not going to lie.
Was I
That's
supposed to call
okay.
Danny DeVito? Okay. Well, so we're looking. I don't know if you know how this works. I'll give you a quick rundown. So basically, we have a 1 to 100 list of movies that we've asked some of our favorite listeners to pick. Well, I guess. Well, you pick a random number. We figure out what we have the list. All right. You know how that works.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you, Keith Youngs, what is the number that you choose? Hey, also, because I feel like with you in particular, I have to make sure that we get this cleared. You have not seen the list ahead of time.
No, I've not seen the list.
Okay, thank you. All right, what number would you like to pick?
17.
17 has been selected
Gosh,
already.
dang it, Keith. What the?
Man, what are the odds?
so
I'm
sorry.
too good.
1 to 100.
Actually, it was
5%.
it was Trevor. It was Trevor that
Yeah,
picked.
Trevor.
Man, if
17.
I was a betting man, I'd be very rich right now. Okay,
We should probably halfway to Birmingham. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
82.
Oh, finally!
Yes! Yeah,
Yes!
Keith, we love you.
We
You
finally
finally
have
picked
one.
us something outside of 50. We've been inside of 25 for so long.
Yes.
All I do is break walls down.
That's
Three
right.
Dudes, the movie.
Sort of. Okay, what is Marty's looking at the list. He's going to tell you. Oh no.
I don't know this movie, but I'm just cracking up at the
We're
title
going to
of
make
it.
sure we're counting it. enough.
Keith has selected, let me just double check. 80, 81, 82. Right, Ryan?
Go back to the top.
What? Why? It is 10, 20, 30, 40,
Keith, I'm
50,
so sorry.
60,
We're usually
70,
more
80,
professional
1,
than
2.
this. Yep.
3
You
Idiots
guys
is
need
the
a
name of the movie.
calculator?
3 Idiots.
Three.
You chose
You've
three
selected a movie
in
called 3 Idiots.
3 Idiots in a
Man,
movie.
I couldn't have done any better even if I tried.
You
Oh, wow.
absolutely nailed
The
it.
2009 rom-com 3 Idiots starring Amir Khan, Sharman Joshi. Oh, this is this a Bollywood? Oh, Tristan said yes it is. Tristan is
You couldn't hear him, but our roommate Tristan just said,
Wow.
yeah, it is.
Oh no. Well, thank you so
Hey,
much.
I think you
Keith.
guys. Hey, next episode after you watch this movie, you've got to adopt the 3 personalities of the 3 idiots.
Ooh,
Deal?
I love that. I love that. Ryan,
Perfect
what do you think
idea.
about that?
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Of a
Ryan, come on, man.
Yeah.
this is Bollywood. This is
Is this a podcast or what? Come on, Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan, come on. It is a podcast.
I'm
Is,
just the executive producer.
He is the executive producer. This
is
is true.
Bollywood India?
Tristan? Yes, it is. Yep, he's gotten back
Tristan
to me.
said yes.
My Bollywood advisor. Well, Keith, thank you so much for your time. We enjoyed it. Send Denver my love. We'll be talking to you.
Thanks, guys. Have fun.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Dude, I cannot stand that guy.
I
Gosh,
don't
this
have
guy-
anything good to say about him.
This dude.
Dude.
We love Keith. We
This
love
is
him
our
very
longest
much.
movie yet.
I know. I saw that. 2 hours, 51
Hours and
minutes.
50 minutes.
Well, we knew we had to break the 3-hour barrier.
What the heck? For a Bollywood movie.
You guys got 3 days off. We can just...
Have you seen any Bollywood?
That's a great question. I don't believe that I have.
I've watched
I've watched
Who
some
Killed-
Bollywood
yeah,
scenes. I've seen some
I've seen Who Killed
clips.
Captain Alex a couple times.
Who is it?
You don't
It was
figure
Randy.
it out. You don't figure it out.
Oh no.
So this will be fascinating. I know nothing about this.
It feels apropos. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm looking forward. It's got 100 on Rotten Tomatoes and an 8.5 on IMDb.
I will tell you. I'll tell you once. I'll tell you again. It's 3.9 on Letterboxd. I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes for the life of me.
I don't trust any of them, but
Okay. Well.
but
all right.
it's just
So be
I
it.
like to cross reference.
Yeah.
So let's rank Cuckoos.
Hold on one second. Yep, I'm coming up with. So let's say one flew over the cuckoo's nest. There are okay. There are 18 inmates on this floor. And
All right.
on a scale of 1 to 18, Marty, what do you give it?
What do I give One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yep.
I will give it a thinking. Math is hard. 16 out of 18.
16 inmates out of
16
18.
out of 18.
That's awesome.
8 out of 9.
Cool. Awesome.
I very much enjoyed this movie. What do you think?
I'm going to give it 9 out of 18.
All right.
And one chief who is worth 6 men. 15 out of 18.
15 out of 18?
Yeah.
All right.
Ryan, what do you give it? A scale of 1 to 18. Sorry, is a basketball game going?
Just doing some quick math.
Okay.
I think I'm going with 14,
Okay, 14.
We
which
got
is
14,
about a 75.
15.
Yeah, you think it was okay?
16.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, he said he enjoyed it. Just, you know.
Yeah.
He's more of a let's watch Lord of the Rings instead kind of guy. But
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to Lord of the Rings.
1 to Return of the King.
Yeah, where do you put it? Moon Knight, episode 1.
All right.
Below all 3 hobbits.
What?
I mean-
You would put One Over the Cuckoo's Nest or One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest below all 3 hobbits?
I'm putting it over Battle of Five Armies.
Yeah, have you seen it?
Really?
Yeah, there's only 2 armies in there.
That's my favorite
Missing
one
3
out of
them.
the 3.
Fly
Oh,
through
really?
it.
I think,
really.
I think what it is, I like the battle sequence.
It's a lot of fun.
And
I think
there's
what
just
it is
it's
that
like the
Over
end
Laborious
game war.
plot is take this kid's book and make it over a trilogy.
The shortest one of all 4 books.
and
yeah.
make Peter Jackson want to actually quit his day job of a director.
I think with Battle of the 5 Armies, the reason I liked it is it's also a lot like the end game battle, where it's just like utter chaos for a while.
That is what those wars would have been.
And I would have been in the middle of it.
That's right. Bar fight. All
I'm
right.
not dying for honor. I'm dying for chaos.
So now it's time to rank this movie.
Yeah. What?
As usual, I will go first, and then you'll do your
I was going to ask if you want to go
chaotic.
first. Yeah.
So,
Has a little chaos.
we still have enough movies that I can read the whole list. At 100,
Eventually, we're not going to be able.
no,
to.
eventually I will do it in small chunks.
Yes.
At number 100, we have The Piano Player. At number 99, Harakiri. Number 98 is Goodfellas. Number 97 is Life is Beautiful. Number 96 is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And number 95 is Forrest Gump. And that is my list of
I respect that.
6 movies that we have witnessed so far.
That's awesome.
In our podcast. What are you thinking?
Okay, so should I work my way from the top down?
Sure.
Where I've got? So at 95, I have Life is Beautiful. And 89, The Pianist. 85, Harakiri. 63, Goodfellas. 11, Forrest Gump. Hold on. I'm typing.
I have a guess in my head of what you're going to throw this.
Ooh, hold on. Let me decide, and then I'll let you guess. But you can only do it through the lyrics of your favorite band. No, I'm just kidding. I'm trying to think. I'm typing it in. Go ahead and guess.
23.
No, so sorry.
Not that high?
Mm-mm. Wait, what do you mean by that?
It's not top 25?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Ryan, what do you think? If you're a betting man.
47.
Dang, you guys like midpointed it. 32.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
30, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I think I only say that because I feel as though now I'm second guessing myself. That just happened. The thought, a colliding thought just happened. That's what you witnessed. I feel as though
Is that why your eyes did that thing?
they went back in my head. My top 25 is pretty set, but not all 25 movies are on that
So
list.
yeah, this top 25.
But I feel like 32 is a safe bet. Like it's good, but it's not my top 25.
All right. Are
No
you
matter
going
the-
to move any of these?
No, dude.
At any point you're going to keep them?
This is. I set them in stone.
That's sturdy.
I mean,
That's sturdy.
Yeah, and I got
Mine's ever changing.
wherever let the chips fall wherever they may. If I put Fellowship of the Ring at number 3, so be it. And then if I put Two Towers at number 1.
Do you have an honest guess what your favorite movie on this list is going to be?
Well, yeah, Dark Knight or The Shining. They're both on
I
there.
think Dark Knight's going to be mine.
Yeah. Well, okay. Here's a question: the movies that we've seen before, are you ranking them on how much you like the movie, or are you ranking them based off of this present viewing of that movie?
I'll do present viewing.
Wow. So if I'm not gonna lie, I have to think about that because Life is Beautiful I put at number 95. I think it was skewed a little bit because we were watching, if you recall, Kentucky get beat by St. Peter's, which by the time this drops, the national championship will have already been done. But I want to remind you that Kentucky did lose in the first round
right.
to St. Peter's.
And Life is Beautiful is the movie that is tied to
and
this
I
event.
feel as though it would have been number 100 if Kentucky hadn't lost to number 15 seed.
You
St.
actually
Peter's.
genuinely think this is going to be your least favorite movie on this list?
What?
Life is Beautiful?
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm just.
It's already pretty low at 95.
That's true. You're making me rethink. No, I can promise you I'll find.
Oh, you certainly will.
Yeah, I'll find other reasons.
Okay, I was just curious.
At this point, here's the thing. Most of the time, between 85 and 100, it just becomes arbitrary. It's like just.
I mean, it does.
just throw
It
out
does.
there. So, yep.
All right.
So we have 3 idiots. But what movie are we watching? It's not funny.
I'm sorry. I'm making fun of us. All right. So next time you hear from us, friends, we will be talking about 3 idiots, and I'm sure whatever nonsense Will Smith is up to next.
It's making it sound like he has a history of nonsense.
He was in Suicide Squad 2017. Does that not count?
Oh
as
yeah,
a
that's
history
right.
of
He
nonsense?
was Deadshot. I mean, but he was good now.
He was the best part of that
redeemable-
movie.
Yeah, he was. Okay,
But he's also in After Earth, which is my least favorite movie of all time.
really, you're gonna put that number 100? There's a lot of other movies on there. Cool.
Oh, you're telling me it didn't make the poster?
Yeah, unfortunate. Well, anything else we have, guys? Anything you want to say before signing off?
It's windy outside.
It's kind of buggy. It's kind of buggy.
All right. You guys are great. We appreciate you listening to us.
Have a good night.
Um,
Good talking to you. And see you later.
Amen, brother.
I hope you enjoyed listening to 3 Dudes in a Movie podcast, part of the TDM Media Network. If you like what you heard, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast, share it with your friends, and leave a review on your nearest podcasting platform. You can connect with us by following us on Instagram at 3dudesmoviecast or email us reviews, ideas, questions, etc. directly at tdmoviecast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.